welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. Looking forward to a great episode today. A lot of things to get into, and I'm glad you guys are here. Blow it up in the chat. Let me see those emojis of the American flags. Whatever you want to do, send me a little wave. I would love it if you would hit subscribe if you've never done that before. Subscribe to Rumble, YouTube. The YouTube's blowing up, which is crazy. Maybe the Google overlords over there are being nice to us, or maybe we're just working real hard to put a lot of consistent content on there. Big shout out to producer David Medina. Follow him at David Medina PDX for his content as well. Heck of a job he did the other day filling in for one of our videos on the Chad Prather Show. He's going to be doing that more and more, whether he wants to or not. I'm going to make him do it because his content is good and he's got something to say, and I appreciate his insight always. So make sure that you are following him, as well as Party Foul Steve, who we'll see here momentarily. But before we do, I got things to tell you while you're hitting that massaged thumb down there, the one that goes up, not down. We don't believe in the down button. We only go up around here. This show is blowing and growing, man, and the numbers are showing, and I appreciate it because it's all because of you guys, ladies and gentlemen. You want justice, so do I. We all want justice. We're just living in that's begging for justice, especially if you believe in just traditional American values. If you do, let me hear from you. Put that American flag in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not pretend anymore. Like, the world is crazy. We're not crazy. They want you to believe that you are. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, and neither are you. I know we've used that phrase around for so long, and we act like that's something that we are. We're not. You're just paying attention. And that's the reason why so many Americans, especially those who hold to tradition, who hold to faith, hold to family, hold to freedom, you're hungry for justice in this world. It isn't because you have a problem with authority. We'll deal with somebody later on in the program who does, and I'll show you the difference. The reason you're having a problem is because authority has a decades-long history of lying to our face and then punishing us for noticing it and calling it out. See, we're not radicalized. We're betrayed. We didn't leave the institutions, folks. The institutions left us. They literally sold their souls first, and then they left us. See, let me run through the receipts. We want to talk about the Epstein files. You know, you got a guy who's running a global trafficking ring, elite clientele, do it yourself. You know, the cameras fail, guards fall asleep, all the stuff we could run through it ad nauseum. We still don't have the information that we're begging for. And people say, why does it still matter? But it still matters because the vacuum got filled as soon as the guy was off the scene. Someone else is trafficking those children now. So we need to uncover how the network is working and who fills those shoes. Because if it's still happening, there's still victims. And if there's still victims, there is still clientele. There are still traffickers. There are evil people in our midst. You and I want to know the truth. We want to uncover it. It's not just about Epstein. I've told you over and over again, he is not the problem. He's not the illness. He's not the blight. He is a symptom of it. And even though now he's gone, there's others out there that are doing it. You look at the JFK file, 60 years go by. They're still redacting documents. We still don't know what happened. If there's nothing to hide, why are you still hiding it? You don't trust. The reason you don't trust it is because it doesn't pass the smell test. And you have to ask yourself, why do a free people not have the truth about the assassination of their president? Because truth tends to be more damning than the lie, and they choose to keep embracing the lie. We've been talking about the MLK files throughout the weekend. They're going to release all of these so-called documents. You know, was he an FBI surveilled man that they smeared? You know, a guy who really believed in peace and justice and the civil rights movement, and yet the agency that did all of those things to smear him. Now, you know, they just want to take the evidence and plant it. I mean, I don't know. Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy? We don't know. Does it matter at this point? But ultimately, you know your government is hiding something from you. That's the problem. Those three-letter agencies out there that are supposed to be upholding law, justice, and the pursuit of all of these things that we believe in America, as Americans, they're lying to you with a PR push. And now we're dealing with the Russian collusion. We all knew that was a hoax. We knew the investigations were a waste. They were manufactured intelligence. It was an operation. And they spent years peddling that lie just to cover up the real crimes. They were trying to keep Trump out of power for whatever reason. They didn't trust him. They didn't believe in him. They were afraid of him. And the media, the same media, won awards for peddling fiction. They were silent all along while it unravels in recent days. They don't want to talk about it. No apologies, no accountability, just spin. So I'm going to give you the psychological term for it, because this is what happens psychologically when you see truth covered up over and over again and the system punishes you for believing your own eyes and ears. When you start to disengage, when you stop trusting everything and everyone that's talking to you, that's not a bug, folks. That is the cost of betrayal. That's trauma. It's political, societal, generational trauma. And you know what the psychologists don't want you to talk about on CNN? It's this phrase right here. When a person gets lied to repeatedly, are you listening? Are you with me? Are you still there? Let me see you in the chat. Let me make sure you're still engaged. When a person is lied to repeatedly, especially by people they're supposed to trust, they develop something that's called institutional betrayal trauma. I'm going to say it again. It's institutional betrayal trauma. It's not just that you don't believe the latest narrative, it's that you lose the foundational ability to trust anything. And folks, that's a survival instinct. You've been gaslit. They tell you that inflation is fine and we've got it under control, but people can't afford their groceries. They'll tell you that you're safe while the cities are burning and there's rioting and looting, smash and grab culture, but yet you're not supposed to worry about it. That you don't have to worry about the southern border while 21 million illegals come across. And you're not supposed to worry about them now that they're here, even though we've seen the rapes, the murders. We've seen the people that have broken our laws consistently. And we're just supposed to be okay with that. You know, they tell us that we're progressing. They actually call themselves progressives. You got children out there that can't define basic biology or even write cursive or even read, for crying out loud. And they want to tell you that love wins and love trumps hate, all the while hate is what's being coded into law. See, this isn't about politics anymore. This is a spiritual, emotional, and cultural abuse on a mass scale. And every one of us are sick of it. So to those who still believe in God, who believe in family, who believe in national sovereignty, you're not blind, you're awake. And that's the problem. They don't want you to be. Because of your being awake, not woke, they're going to call you an extremist. Because truth, when it comes out of your mouth, is now a threat. But I want to tell you something deeper. We're not just thirsty for vengeance, we're thirsty for justice, for righteousness, for clarity, for peace. But none of that comes until someone tells the truth. And this is what we're going to talk about today, until somebody pays for the lies. So what do? Well, the first thing is we got to own the fact that no institution, not the media, not the schools, not the FBI, not the modern church included, I'm throwing them under the bus too, none of them are going to save you. If you're waiting for a system that has sold its soul and you're waiting on them to come back to integrity, you're not waiting. None of them are going to come back. You know why? Because the money and the power is too good. And yeah, I'm still talking about the church. The answer is not out there. It's in you. It's in us. It's in the grassroots revival of truth tellers, truth seekers, and ungovernable people who refuse to bow to the lies. Now, there are going to be people who are going to say, oh, no, you're part of the problem, Chad. No. Just because, people throw out there, could it be that maybe you've even been deceived about the truth tellers, the people who are out there, because they wanted to shut us up so bad they've done it to try to make us look bad as well? Why else would they call you an extremist or a conspiracy theorist or thrust you into a situation that was unmanageable and now you become the bad guy? They want to bring down the truth tellers. They want to censor you, deplatform you, demonetize you, take away every ability that you have to get your voice out there. That's why we've got to stop playing defense, stop waiting for permission to speak the truth, stop assuming in the minority, because we're not. We proved that in this last election. They just have the bigger voice. They just have the bigger platform, but not for long. I believe that's going to change, folks. You got to learn to lean hard into faith right now. There's a reason I'm posting prayers, putting motivational, inspirational things out there. I'm putting the scripture out there. We do Chad's Church. That's not just so we can have a ooey gooey feel good episode every week. You've got to lean hard into faith right now, because if there's anything that keeps a soul from crumbling under the weight of deception, it's the unshakable truth that God is not mocked. Galatians 6, you will not thumb your nose at God. Vengeance is his. Justice is coming, and it won't be televised, folks. It'll be witnessed by the righteous and the wicked alike. So to everybody out there that's still with me, the folks that have been mocked, silenced, shadow banned, doxxed, labeled, ridiculed, lied about, I want you to take heart. You're not crazy. You're ahead of time. And the thirst you feel for justice, folks, that is holy. It's not rage. That's righteous discontent, and that's what wakes up the lion. So don't let the fog of corruption steal your clarity. Don't let the delay of justice turn your heart cold. Stay hot. Let it sharpen you. Let it focus you. Let it remind you that truth is worth the battle, because at the end of the day, if you know the truth and you speak the truth and you stand on truth, you're already more powerful than the entire machine built to silence you. And we're not asking for permission, folks. We're not asking for forgiveness. We're asking, how much longer do you think you can hide? Because the people are watching. The righteous are rising. The voices are being heard. The truth, oh, that sweet truth, is coming in like a flood, folks. And when it does, I believe that you and I are going to be the ones that are holding the lanterns. Me personally, I'm excited about that. Let me get over here and talk to you about my friends. Let me get back over to my notes, and let's do it this way. I'm so excited for you guys, man. Talking to my friends about my friends over here at Home Title Lock. Listen, if you're a homeowner, you need to listen to this. There is an AI and cyber world. I was just having this conversation with somebody last night about this, talking about, do you like AI or not like AI? And he said, I like it when I'm the one using it. See, that's the problem. You got people out there using it, and they're targeting your home, specifically your home's equity. Home Title Lock will help you protect your home and your title. What they do is they go in, they find your title, they forge your name on a document, they get a fake notary on it, and they take it to the courthouse, and they assume responsibility and they receive or ownership of your title. Then they're going to borrow against the equity. You don't even know what's happening until you start getting the debt notices or the foreclosure notices that can happen as well. Today, I want you to go to HometitleLock.com/Chad Prather. You can use promo code Chad over there. They will give you a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection when you use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. And that triple lock $1 million protection is going to be 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes. And if fraud does happen, they're willing to spend up to $1 million to fix it. I'm telling you, give yourself some peace of mind as a homeowner. Go to HometitleLock.com. Use promo code Chad. HometitleLock.com/Chad Prather, or you can just use HometitleLock.com. Use promo code Chad. All right, I've missed this guy. I haven't been home in a while, and I don't know if I'm ever coming home, quite honestly. I'm in this rehab, and I'm enjoying it. All right, Party Foul Steve's in the house. What's up, buddy? There he is. Oh, yeah.
Hey, brother, how's rehab going?
It's going pretty good. That's why I keep looking out the window at all the little automatons out there walking around in their little white coats and their scrubs. They're just kind of shuffling around, shuffling around.
You're looking good. You look like you got some rest.
You're lying. You told me earlier that I looked tired. I had 8 hours. My little Aura ring that I wear, it told me that I had 8 hours sleep last night.
Well, what I meant was it looked like you've been sleeping, so that's good.
Yeah, I had been up for a couple of hours when I saw you, though. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, I know you were up early because
Yeah, always.
I get on social media and you're already on there.
Yeah, I'm there, baby. I work 8 days a week. 8 days a week, Daddy. There's no way around it.
I'm glad they let you work in there.
Yeah. So the Justice Department, did you see this? They're going to reach out to Ghislaine Maxwell, Steve. They said that that's what they need to do at this point. And Justice demands courage. For the first time, the Department of Justice is reaching out to Ghislaine Maxwell to ask, what do you know? That's according to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Said she's contacted her counsel and intend to meet with her soon. No one is above the law, and no lead is off limits. Do you think at this stage in the game, Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, she's in jail. People ask, why is she in jail if all this is a hoax? She's in prison for 20 years because of her, quote, trafficking minors to Jeffrey Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein alone. No one else is named in this whole thing, allegedly. Everything else was buried. That was part of the deal. Here you see this disgusting picture of them on the private jet, headed to God knows where to do what kind of debauchery they're going to do. I
think they could offer her immunity from any further prosecution, probably reduce her sentence if she will not just name names, but she will leave. She's got a book somewhere. It's hidden. Somebody's holding it for her or something in the event of her demise while she's incarcerated.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. There's no way you don't. So it's highly likely that we either find out everything or nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Epstein's brother said that he was killed, not suicided. It'll be interesting to see if her attorneys will let Pam Bondi meet with her or whatever. But Epstein's brother says it was murder.
I don't think there's anybody out there that truly believes that he suicided himself.
Well, you and I've talked about it over and over again. Any guy that wanted his head and penis preserved for future generations in case they could bring him back from the dead was not a guy that was going to kill himself without some kind of pressure. Something had to be going on, right?
Yeah. We would have known that evidence that they had, all the evidence that they had against him, the child pornography would have came out way sooner, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, there are people, I watch those videos, the shorts of the predator, catch a predator, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know them guys are ready to kill themselves just when they get caught, trying to.
Oh yeah, they're ready to do it right there in the front yard.
Yeah.
This is what he claims that the pathologist came up to him following the autopsy. He said they couldn't call it a suicide because it looked too much like a homicide. Found it suspicious that both people conducting the autopsy hesitated labeling his death a suicide, but that nothing of the sort is noted on any federal documents that he's viewed.
Yeah, whoever killed him, they probably killed people before to make it look like suicide. So they've had plenty of practice on what, even if it just looks a little bit like suicide, they're going to go with, hey, play.
Well, I mean, you saw the last, episodes of Yellowstone right there. Yeah. They made it look like a suicide. There's people out there who know that's like their business. They know how to do that. So, and let me say, everybody, we are switching you hear some audio issues from time to time. I've been hearing it too. I was watching Graham yesterday, same audio issues. It's the system we use. We're switching systems on the all new Chad Prather Show coming September 1st. Stay tuned for that. We got a lot of fun stuff. Let's move forward a little bit. And this is one of those things that a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a cover up. I get so sick of people who just aren't paying attention, who accuse me saying, well, we want to know why you're not talking about Epstein anymore, why you haven't said anything about Epstein. I'm like, listen, you would make a terrible attorney because you don't know how to go out and research what somebody's actually said. We've literally been talking about it for the last 5 months, day in and to the point where people are sick of it. And they're saying, well, move on from this. And I'm to see now that we see that this Tulsi Gabbard stuff come out about Barack Obama. I did yesterday. I brought the receipts on Obama about all the stuff this guy did. He's just a piece of trash. The DOJ, according to Breaking 911, has received criminal referral on bombshell claims Obama admin manufactured Russian collusion hoax. I don't have any problems believing that. But will there be consequences? Two things, Steve. Is this a cover-up to get people's attention off of the Epstein issue? Because it's not going to go away. We're not going to quit demanding it and calling out for it. Is this a cover-up on the part of the Trump administration to move, or a distraction, I should say, not a cover-up, but a distraction? And will any true criminal results and consequences come from this?
I'm not sure about, if anything's going to come of it, but a part of me does believe that there is a little bit of distraction, but they better use a bigger distraction than that to get people off the Epstein thing.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard, God bless her. The reason I think this is good. Well, the reason I think this is good is because she's not GOP. She's a Democrat. This is the woman who got more folks to support her in the primary than freaking Kamala Harris. I mean, she had more delegates than Kamala Harris in the whole thing. She ran for president as a Democrat. And for her to step out and hand over a criminal referral to the DOJ, that's Tulsi calling out her own, basically. Because I have no doubt Tulsi Gabbard probably voted for Obama.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? I know a lot of people, Republicans as well, that voted for Obama his first term. Many people that voted.
He snowed a lot of people, but she's not a Republican. She wasn't an independent. So anyway, for her to say that senior officials in the Obama administration, that was supposedly scandal-free. Let me remind everybody, that was a big thing that they always talked about, is how scandal-free their administration was. Well, I just gave you all the scandals yesterday, if you missed that they manufactured intelligence to create the Russia-Trump collusion hoax. I mean, they faked a conspiracy to blame the guy they didn't like so they could launch an investigation, spent $35 million of our taxpayer dollars, spent 2 years justifying a conspiracy that they made up and paid for. I mean, that's the pre-crime side of a banana republic right there, is what that is.
They went the extra mile for that because, all you have to do is allude to something and people go off on that.
Right.
And they went hard on it.
Well, and this isn't about worshiping Trump or covering up for Trump or helping Trump or distracting for Trump. And it's not just about hating Obama. This should concern everybody, because at the end of the day, this is people at the top of our government, the tippy top, weaponizing the tools of the government against you and me and anybody who dared to color outside the lines of the D.C. coloring book. Trump's a Russian asset. Those were the headlines. Election was hacked. Trust the intelligence community. I got penalized. Everybody got penalized. I mean, you want to talk about losing business, losing revenue, losing income. And supposedly I was called a traitor. I was called a Russian asset and a conspiracy theorist. And you got the sitting director of national intelligence who turns right around and says, here's the smoke gun. And my thing is, where's the media? Where's the apologies? Where's Adam Schiff, who said he had, evidence? And I've done fact check and research and all this stuff over the last few days about what Adam Schiff actually said. Mortgage fraud, Adam Schiff. I want to know. Or is anybody going to apologize to anything? Or is anybody going to say anything?
Absolutely not, because anybody that has TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome, that hate Trump, they don't care what anybody else did before him. They wake up every morning hating him, and they're going to continue to do so.
I had a woman on social media yesterday. I was on the plane. People say, why do you argue with these trolls online? Because I'm on an airplane. And I'm flying and I'm bored and I got nothing else to do. And I actually get entertained putting these people in their place and just re-educating them on things and bringing the facts, just burning down the ball. And let me say this, anytime you're arguing with somebody and they go immediately to the ends and want to call you names or, gaslight you with that kind of BS, let me remind everybody, they don't have an argument. And that's the problem with the left. They never have an argument. If they can't debate on their own ideas and ideals, and they got to start calling you names, they don't have an argument. It doesn't work. So,
and if they bring up the fact that Trump's a felon and they can't name what the charges were,
right?
It's like you're wasting your breath.
They can't do it. They can't do it. And you're going to see these people, right? Yeah. One little vindication, and it's small, but it's fun, is anybody who continues to push the narrative of Russian collusion and saying, well, you guys are just puppets of Putin. Donald Trump is a puppet of Putin. If you keep to do, these are misinformed idiots. These are brain dead idiots that have been brainwashed on mainstream and legacy media and social media for so long that they don't have their own arguments. And they're not paying attention to what's going on right now.
if we come to find out that Trump was involved with Epstein and all that kind of stuff, then I would turn on him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But they're not going to turn on Obama for basically for treason.
No.
Not going to happen.
He's their Messiah.
I would hope that exactly they worship him.
It's like Chris Matthews said whenever Obama spoke, to shiver run up his leg. Okay, queer bait.
What?
Anyway, let's talk about our friends over at American Financing. What if I told you that you could save or delay, rather, your next two mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those two payments in your pocket. Get a little breathing room. People are living off of their credit cards, right? And I think it's possible that you could get a lot of help if you folks over at American Financing, and you should do it today. In fact, as soon as the show's over, after you're done ruminating on the truth we are pouring out upon you, go over to American Financing and talk to them. Most Americans are putting everything on a credit card. Those high interest rates are killing people. What American Financing will do, and they don't work by commission, they work by salary. So they're not going to sell you something or push you into something that they get extra for. No, they're salaried, so you can trust them. And they're great folks over there. They will help use your home's equity so that you can pay off some of those high interest credit cards. And with the refinancing, you may be able to save two mortgage payments. So these salary-based mortgage consultants, they're helping homeowners just like you and me restructure their loans, consolidate their debt without any upfront fees. And folks are saving on average $800 a month. That is huge right now. So I want you to call them before it is too late. Get them on the phone. Call American Financing today. Find out how customers are saving that $800 a month at 888-961-4143. That's 888-961-4143. You can visit AmericanFinancing.net/Chad, but I'd call them on the phone. 888-961-4143. Don't look at that number that's on the screen right there. That's the wrong one. Don't put that one. We've changed it. It's 888-961-4143. Let's do that. You can find it in the description down below of this show. AmericanFinancing.net/Chad, NMLS 182334, NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Look at that.
Boo bow. Look how quickly David moves that thing around, man. 888-961-4143. They're serious about that because we all have a number that is unique to our show. That way they know that it came from us. And they're like, hey, you know what? We want to keep sponsoring Chad because it's not just he's handsome. It looks like he got sleep, but because he gets us results. This story pisses me off. So there was that Border Patrol agent that was gunned down by the illegals. Steve, did you see the video clip of that?
Yeah, was that the one where you were sitting on the park bench?
And it's the night vision video. You can see it. It's in the dark.
Oh, no, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, this is a bad deal. Both of the suspects who gunned down the border agent in New York City were illegals caught and released by Biden. Caught and released by the Biden administration. More blood on the hands of the Biden administration. Murders, rapes, all of the things that happen, the crimes that happen. Here's the footage right here, folks. Graphic. This is crazy.
I did see this one.
Yeah. I mean...
I mean, he had to know they were coming up to him.
I mean,
and they were just going to rob him and jump on the moped and ride away.
I mean, you know, they caught these guys. Go back to that other clip there. Here's their mug shots. This is like Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungaray. These are people who are in this country, blood on the hands of administration, because these are murders, rapes, all of the things that have happened because of a federal policy, a federal and by administration policy that was enacted under him.
Remember when during the campaigning and the left made fun of Trump for saying they're letting in murderers and rapers and stuff like that? And it's a daily occurrence across the country.
And he was specifically talking about MS-13, gang members, the worst of the worst, murderers and rapists. And everybody jumped on him and said, oh, he's calling the brown people murderers. Well, these are two brown people who are murderers. And you deport them straight to hell, post haste, as quick as you can. What should happen to them? Immediate justice. Immediate justice. You don't deport them to El Salvador or wherever the hell they came from. You deport them straight to hell. These are people, and again, I go back, Steve, you and I have been around the world. We know that the rest of the world doesn't operate with the same kind of mindset and consciousness that we do. You know, it is animal instinct in a lot of places. It's hunt or be hunted. It is the only strong survive. It is, if you want to call it that, an evolutionary process of just, you know, these folks are pure animals.
Yep.
It's so, you know, and you're going to be lectured to and say, oh, you're xenophobe and you're hateful.
Okay.
I mean, whatever, I'm getting there. So let me tell you a funny story, Steve. I was in an Uber the other day. And you know how I am. I like to talk to the Uber driver, find out about them. And sometimes I know a little bit of their language, depending on where they're from. And I'm nice to everybody. So I asked this guy, I said, how long have you been here? I was talking about this specific town I was in. I said, how long have you been here? And he goes, 25 years. And I always say to him, when it's been a long time, I said, well, that's long enough to call it home. Yeah, I mean, I say that to people from New York who are living in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You say, I've been there for 30 years. Well, that's long enough to call it home. It's just something I say to people. If you've been there a long time, I mean, you're not from New York anymore. You're from Las Vegas. So I'm talking with this guy. He's obviously a foreigner. And he goes into this lecture with me. And he starts saying, I have received more hate over the last year from people. And I was like, who are you receiving hate from? I mean, explain it to me. This guy starts lecturing me just because he said, I'm from here. This is my home. I was like, okay, I just said that. And I just asked him where you were, you know, how long you been here. And he's like, this home, this is, you know, this, I've been here. People never think of me as being at home. They always think of me as being from somewhere else. I was like, well, you are quite literally from somewhere else. We all are. Like, I live in a place I'm not from too, right?
Yeah. But you've been here long enough to call Texas home.
Yeah. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, I am from Georgia. But I
well,
you know, I mean, that's
kinda.
where I'm from.
That's where you were raised.
It's where I was raised. I mean, you could argue from New Jersey, even though that's where just because that's where I was born. I never lived there, but that's where I was born. So, you know, you could say Ted Cruz is from Canada because that's where he was born. But he's from Texas.
You could say Obama's from Kenya.
I mean, you could, and you're probably more and more close to the truth on that shit too these days. So
yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, which by the way is the kind of thing that would get you banned on YouTube if you even talk about.
Yeah, I'm not talking
back in the day, but I'm willing to talk about it. So my thing is, this guy goes on, and I ask him the question. I said, who are you receiving hate from? And he goes, people even in my car. And he like, and you know, he's going on and on about this, people that I drive. And I'm like, what kind of hate? He said, they told me to go home. And I was like, really? Like, are you talking about college kids or? And I said, let me cut to the chase. I said, what do you attribute that to? And he said, I'll keep my opinion to myself. And I said, well, you brought it up. So what do you attribute it to? And he goes, I keep it to myself. I said, I'm assuming you're saying you don't want to accuse, because you assume I probably look like I do. I got a cowboy hat on. You probably think I support Donald Trump. So it's Trump, right? And he goes, well, and I go, let me stop you. I said, you realize 21 million, arguably 20 million illegal people have come across the border from other nations, 165 different nations represented at southern border encounters every year. I said, and you want to send that was under the Biden administration for 4 years. I said, so at the end of the day, it could be that people are a little bit distrusting because of what they've seen with an open border policy. And they're legitimately curious why people are in this country now, where they come from, and what their intentions are for being here. That's not hate. That's just honesty. That is asking questions. That is, people who are wondering about, what's going on in our country right now. And I said, and now that we're calling for justice in regards to those things, people are saying that's hate. He didn't like that response so much. But when we were done, I walked around to his side of the car and I shook his hand and I said, I'm glad you're here because you are a legal immigrant to this country. And I'm thankful that you're here. I said, so I want you to understand, from my perspective, there's no hate. I'm happy you're here. I said, so I don't want you to perceive that as hate, because I think that's what the guy was doing.
Did you actually check his legal status? You just assumed he was.
Well, he told me enough of his story that I was able to piece it together 2 and 2. So I could put 4 out of that. So I felt pretty confident. You can kind of see through when somebody's BSing you and they're not. But it was a good conversation. It was a healthy discussion, healthy little debate, but I thought it was kind of intriguing the way he went off, the way that he did pretty quick. He was sitting, he had that barrel loaded, buddy. He was walking on the eggshells. So anyway.
I was waiting for him to say that he got hate on social media. I mean, everybody gets hate on social media. Everybody
gets hate on social media. I mean, I'm no stranger to the hate. That's a daily occurrence for me. I mean, I literally put a thing out yesterday talking about how, keep pressing forward and everybody wanted to, screw you. Okay. I mean, some people just get off on it. I mean, that narcissistic Machiavellian complex the internet trolls have, and the dopamine hits they get from a response is something psychologically that I don't know we've ever experienced in human history. But here it is, that sociological experiment known as social media. Plenty of hate out there. All right, let's talk about this lady, Yvette Clarke, Democrat, should I say more? She said, I need more migrants in my district for redistricting purposes. Play this clip.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
Holy!
The inn is closed for illegal immigrants. Migrationists.
That's who she's talking about, I assure you.
Yeah.
But let me go back. That's a biblical allusion. She's alluding to the story of Jesus and his family going to Bethlehem, and they said the inn was full, and so Jesus was born in a barn and born in a manger, as the Christmas narrative goes. The reason the inn was closed is because the freaking inn was full. If you go to the Motel 6 and it says no vacancy, it means they don't have rooms to give you. They just don't start putting strangers in your hotel room when you've got it rented out.
Yeah. I mean, did the inn say no Jews allowed? I mean,
right, exactly. Everybody was welcome. It was full. And this is the thing that I'm tired of, the rhetoric of the people who say, oh, you push Jesus, but you don't have compassion on the hungry and the poor and the homeless. And I'm like, how many tired, poor, and homeless are living with you? They're not. Because again, Jesus said, be compassionate and give and take care of the poor among you. Whatever you do for the least of these in my name will wash upon the shores of eternity. But he's talking to you, the individual, not the state. Never. And she said, well, Jesus said that the government should use taxpayer money to take care of the poor. Somebody said that to me yesterday. And I said, please provide chapter and verse, because that ain't my Bible. Nowhere did Jesus say that. Nowhere.
They were dollars for that back in the day.
Now, America's the most compassionate nation in the world. So this idea that we're not compassionate is asinine. We are the most compassionate nation in the world. Hands down. I mean, we've done more for the world on a global stage and right here in our nation than anybody else. Could we do it better? Yeah. I think we need to be taking care of our veterans, our homeless. American citizens need to be first. But to say, I want more migrants in, this goes right back to 1965. This is the Nationalization and Immigration Act of 1965 under LBJ. They are not even hiding it anymore. They're saying we need redistricting through illegals because we need more votes. No room at the inn. Honey, how many of them are living in your home? None of them. None of them. Tom Homan says, though, we're coming for you. Sanctuary cities are the ones that are on the target list right here. He says, we're about to bring it on you. And because they kill that Border Patrol agent, and we see that arrest that's happened, and like I said, I didn't stutter. They take these two guys right outside in the back alley and deport them to hell right now. And I say that loving Jesus, and I can defend it biblically. I can, and so can you. Play this clip.
I'll say it again. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And I'm going to work very hard with Secretary Noem to keep President Trump's promise and his commitment several weeks ago that sanctuary cities are now our priority. We're going to flood the zone. You don't want to let us into jail to arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. You want to release him into the street, which makes it unsafe for the community, makes it unsafe for the officer, makes it unsafe for the alien. Anything can happen on a street arrest. So what we're going to do, we'll have more agents in New York to look for that bad guy. So sanctuary cities get exactly what they don't want, more agents in the community and more agents in the work site. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of the county jail, then we'll arrest him in the community, and we'll arrest him in the jail. And when we arrest him in the community, if he's with others that are in the country illegally, they're coming too.
And let's take the funds. Let's take the funds from the IRS and the manpower from the IRS and from the Postal Service, because they ain't worth a crap anyway. I'll have to beat myself.
look at this. This is Donald Trump. Look at the chart. Look at this chart. Look at the border history. I mean, check this out, dude. Border Patrol and ICE. Boom. I mean, dead as a hammer. Border crossings down to nothing.
And the morale of the Border Patrol, I'm sure, is at all-time high.
You know, if you get a job to do and they let you actually do the job, it sure is more rewarding and satisfying. Yeah. It's far more rewarding and satisfying. So I'd say rock and roll. God bless you, Tom Holman. People, you Gestapo fascist tactics. Yeah. See, here's the thing. If you want to compare this to Nazi Germany with what went on with all of that deal, and you can't. You just can't. You want to round up citizens of a nation and haul them out. That's not what's happening. That would be fascism. That would be Nazism. When you're rounding up citizens of your own nation and doing that, we're talking about people that are here illegally. As Tom Holman said, and you can't say it any better than that, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. That was the whole point of whenever, back in the Middle Ages or whenever it was, you ran in church and you screamed sanctuary because criminals could go in there and claim sanctuary status and the law could not come get them there. That's where the criminals go.
Yeah, if I was a criminal, that's where I would be. I'd go to find a place where I could get away with my crimes.
And if you don't believe it, I'll bring the receipts. The city of Denver literally sent their representatives, their delegates, their people, their volunteers, their workforce. They sent people down to the border during the Biden administration with pamphlets that said, although we're a sanctuary city, don't go to Denver. You know why? The inn is full. They literally said, we can't care for you. San Diego, there are videos in the last couple of years of the bus stopping at the curb and illegals bolting into San Diego because the money for migrants, and I use that term in quotations, the money for illegals coming into San Diego, those funds had dried up. Apparently, Yvette up there in New York, the inn was full. And so they were just busting out into San Diego. 2 years ago, there was the video of the boatloads of people that were landing on the beach in La Jolla, California, and 15 per boatload just taken off into the city of La Jolla in order to evade. They just scattered like roaches when the lights come on.
Now,
because the funds had run out. The inn was full.
Why is the federal government not pooling the funds for these sanctuaries? If you claim yourself as a sanctuary city, then you're on your own. We're going to pull federal funding.
Where was it? Cincinnati or Pittsburgh? I don't know. Somewhere up in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Where that guy, little fairy dainty little mayor dude comes out and he goes, we're your sanctuary city. Yeah, well, listen, so stupid. Just so stupid.
Imagine being a police officer and you're not calling and telling, the Homeland Security or whoever you got to call that you have an illegal alien and you're turning them out. How hard is it to make that phone call? We're not immigration police. It's a phone call or an email. Say, hey, we're holding a guy. He's wanted for being here illegally. They'll come get him.
Yeah, they'll come get him. I mean, that's the promise. All right, let's talk about Hunter Biden. Everybody's seen the clips of Hunter Biden. We don't have to hear him drop all of his F-bombs. Obviously, he's doing all of this thing. I mean, this dude, he's, we could play a little bit of this just to remind everybody. Let's play this clip. He wants to tell you how easy it is to make crack.
No. Do you know what I mean?
Well, because they think cocaine, Scarface, very cool. Yeah. Crack cocaine, they think The Wire.
Oh, in that sense? Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't know how similar the chemical compounds are.
No, the only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat, literally.
That's it?
That's it.
And those things are pretty much free if you go to, like, a science store.
This is free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get. Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a mayonnaise jar, cocaine, and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
It's vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant to kind of have some euphoric discussion. I know you're not asking me to do that, but have some euphoric discussion about crack cocaine.
I think this might be kind of the opposite here.
Okay, no, it's the exact opposite. I'm saying I don't want to have the experience of some euphoric recall. That's how powerful crack cocaine is. Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make crack, what you're doing is you're burning off all the impurities so that it combines with the sodium bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all. All of these actors and, people in the past have talked about they had a problem with cane. And
this guy, I'll do a little toot, but I will not freebase cocaine. Oh my gosh. The dude talking about, is it safer than alcohol? Probably. This is the comparison we're going to do. Now, Steve, you made a point, a very wise observation. There's a reason why they did this interview outside.
Yeah, they wanted bright sunlight, number one. Now, they were sitting in the shade, and if you look closely at his eyes, they're pinpoint pupils. I mean, the tightest pupils I've ever seen. So that is, it's not cocaine, because that would blow the pupils out. So this has got to be something else. It could be fentanyl.
Could be.
Could be some type of barbiturate.
Some diazepam. Yeah, there's a lot of things he could be on. This is he says that his dad was on Ambien during the CNN debate. So there you go, folks. The reason Joe Biden lost the debate was because he was on Ambien. Can you imagine allowing a dude that is already virtually brain dead like Joe Biden, who's half asleep all the time? They literally call him Sleepy Joe. You're going to give him Ambien? Play the clip.
I know exactly what happened in that debate. He flew around the world, basically, the mileage that he could have flown around the world 3 times.
Yeah.
He's 81 years old. He's tired as shit. They give him Ambien to be able to sleep. He gets up on the stage, and he looks like he's a deer in the headlights. And I know exactly what happened in that debate. He flew around the world, basically, the mileage that he could have flown around the world 3 times.
Yeah.
He's 81.
He's basically calling him he's old. Too old to be flying around the world.
Listen, here's the funny thing to me. Hunter Biden, of all people, Hunter Biden, I mean, the dude's name has become synonymous with drugs and craziness while partying and sex videos on a computer. I mean, you're going to lecture us? You're going to sit, listen, Hunter Biden is going to try to strut onto the national spotlight again with a silver spoon in one hand that he probably used to smoke crack with. And you're going to act like you're the moral compass for America and say, listen. No, you listen. You don't go from hookers, hard drives, and hush money to Harvard-level lectures on ethics and democracy or accountability. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. You don't get to wear a robe of righteousness when your closet is stuffed with enough skeletons to fill a Biden family freaking reunion.
He needs to keep talking, though. I love it. I love every minute of it. He is burning down the house. You watch. You look. He's pulled Pelosi He pulled Obama into it, all of the cabinet people, everybody, and he burned them down.
This guy whose only career has been being the president's son, actually the vice president's son, back when Joe was vice president. He's cut foreign deals or backroom deals with foreign nations. He's left a paper trail, including a Secret Service business card and a rental car with cocaine on it, but a paper trail dirtier than a DC sewer, and wants to talk down to people like us, like we're the ones that's lost our mind. The dude's going to sit here and tell you how to make crack cocaine.
What?
Going to talk about snorting Parmesan cheese out of the carpet. And then tell us that Joe Biden, you don't believe, again, go back to what I said. Don't believe your eyes and ears. Joe Biden was on Ambien. He'd flown around the world. That was the deal. He's 81 years old, and it was Ambien. Folks, they want you to treat it like it's amnesia. They want you to memory hole what you saw in July of last year for that debate. This is what you call arrogance on a methamphetamine. The audacity of Hunter Biden to lecture anybody is Olympic level insanity. The dude's got the condescension of a man who's never been held accountable a day in his life, shielded by daddy's DOJ, propped up by the elites who would have set the world on fire. The media would have gone berserk if a Trump kid had done half of what's on that laptop. And by the way, remember, we all got banned talking about the laptop because we weren't allowed to do that. And 51 DOJ officials were sworn to secrecy on that. No. We're supposed to treat him like he's the moral voice in the wilderness. Give me a freaking break. Who's going to sit there and take this guy seriously? His resume reads like a bad season on an episode of Cops, man. You got illicit drugs. You got shady business foreign deals. You got alleged influence peddling, lying on federal forms about his gun, sketchy tax filings, and somehow's writing off hookers on his IRS returns, living like a rock star. And when the smoke starts to rise, he's going to stroll out with a smug little grin, his tiny little pupils like he's above the law, like the rest of us owe him an explanation. Buddy, you should be giving interviews from behind bulletproof glass and bars, not sitting out in the park with some dude dressed like Pee Wee Herman. And here's the deal. Hunter Biden, we know he's not a role model, but he sure ain't a victim. He's not even a cautionary tale. He's not even a cautionary tale anymore. He's the punchline to every unfunny joke about power, privilege, and the rot in the heart of American politics. And when he opens his freaking mouth to lecture the rest of us, he reminds the country exactly why we don't trust a damn thing that ever comes out of Washington, D.C. So listen, Hunter, spare us the TED Talk. Save that self-righteous posturing. It's too many nights in the back rooms, too many years dodging accountability to pretend you're some kind of moral mountain to let me, buddy. The dude's on drugs right there in that interview. That's what we're saying.
He might have been fun to party with back in the day.
I mean, you got to admire a guy who writes off hookers on his, who evades the income tax for, $1.4 million and then gets hookers written off on his deal.
Let's invite him on the Chad Prather Show. That would be
I'd love to have him.
I bet he might do it.
But this is one of the hilarious things. They say, watching a strung out addict, Hunter Biden, go off on Democrats is the most hilarious thing you're going to watch today. Watch this. Play the clip.
Opinions. But fuck him and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking, I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with anything? Why do I have to listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the New York Times to me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama, and that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod and David Plouffe and all of these guys and the God Save America guys who were junior.
I love him. I think you're trying to make me like him,
Barack
Chad.
Obama's Senate staff who've been dining out on the relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. The Anita.
I like him more and more.
Democratic Party. They're to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times, how to pass more legislation than any president in history, how to have a better midterm election than anybody in history, and how to garner more votes than any president that has ever run. And they're going to replace their judgment for his.
Not to mention,
I think he learned his business dealings, you know, like with the Burisma stuff from his
I don't
dad.
think it's your mom anymore.
No.
By the numbers, what influence does Jake Tapper have over anything? He's the smallest audience on cable news, and beyond that, I think that the book is right now on Amazon that he put out. I mean, his ratings just went to shit after he put the book out. You know, they did a 2-week infomercial for it. I mean, it was such a money grab, such a disservice to everybody that he serves with.
He wanted to talk about money grabs. He was painting pictures that people were paying outrageous things.
Blowing his doo-doo around on a canvas and selling it, money laundering it for $500,000 a pop, $1 million a pop. Yeah, and then you're going to sit there and talk about how he's got money issues. You're a piece of trash, too. Hey, listen. Like recognizes like. Game recognizes game. You know, bro. You know because you're one of those pieces of shit, dude.
Yeah.
He knew it. He knew it all along, and they gaslit us with the whole thing. Oh, one big happy family. Throw him under the bus, Hunter. I've said forever. Maybe back in the day, back in my wild days, I wouldn't have mind partying with Hunter, man. Apparently, he knows how to get stuff, and he knows how to get away with it. Good Lord.
He's got a supplier out there somewhere right now.
Oh, he ain't. Oh, listen, he's hopped up on something.
Yeah.
He's speaking freely. And how long do you think it is before Hunter Biden winds up, drown off the coast of Costa Rica? Shout out condolences to Malcolm Jamal Warner. He just drowned off the coast of Costa Rica. That wasn't a stab at him.
That's a bad deal right there.
That's a sad deal. I said that. Wasn't even thinking about him. But sad condolences. Rip. But wow. How long? How long before he hits his head on a wakeboard and drowns outside of, on Martha's Vineyard? Oh, wait, I shouldn't have talked about the chef either.
Or hangs himself up by his bedpost.
Ah, boy, howdy. All right, listen, I'll give you this, guys. You don't like all the F-bombs old Hunter was dropping right there. But you know what? We can't win an argument, so they just start dropping F-bombs. Here's a little compilation from the left, ladies and gentlemen. Play that clip.
Go fuck yourself!
Him. Fuck him. I don't know what he is.
I got to say, it makes sense we'd be canceled. I get it, guys. And thanks again. Okay, thanks again to the network. In a completely unrelated story, on Friday, Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." How dare you, sir? Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go yourself.
There you go.
He got canceled because he does a horrible Trump impression for a comedian.
Terrible. Yeah. Terrible. All right, listen, I got to jump off of here because I got to go do a news hit really quick, and then we're going to come back. We got more stories. You got to make sure that you're tuned in on my YouTube and on our Rumble because we're putting other content on there, short form, 10, 15-minute content about other news stories. I will talk to you about some other things that are on there, some really good stories that are out there. We'll put those on there, but I got to run. The justice, folks, that's what we're crying out for. Party Foul Steve, what's coming up, man? What is going on with you? Where can people find you?
I don't even know. You can find me on Instagram at Party Foul Steve.
I may come home one day. We'll see.
You may come home.
We'll see.
I'm home all week. So right here in my home state of Texas.
There you go. All right, folks. Party Foul Steve, I love you, buddy. I'll talk to you here in just a minute. Thanks for jumping on. And for the rest of you, follow David Medina PDX at David Medina PDX on Instagram and on X. Follow his YouTube channel as well. Subscribe over there at David Medina PDX. And I want you to subscribe on my channel as well. We're begging for justice. We're calling for justice. We will not back down until justice is served. And I do believe that eventually, it's going to get worn down. We're going to see something. There have been no arrests made, but there needs to be a lot of them, both from the Obama administration as well as the Biden administration. So we're going to call for justice. If you missed my opening monologue, go back and watch that first spectacular 10 minutes of the Chad Prather Show. Hit the like button, rub it, massage it, smash it. Don't care. how violently or gently you touch it. Just make sure you touch it. Go to where podcasts are offered. Apple Podcasts would leave us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. Drive it further up the ranks. The other day I checked, we were ranked 43 in news commentary. Let's drive it on up there, man. I think we've got a voice that needs to be heard. I'm out on the road. I'm in nations undisclosed, getting a little R&R, hanging out, and just trying to figure out life. Anyway, go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. The Cactus Theater in Lubbock, Texas, Friday night. I will be there, and it's almost sold out. There's a few tickets left, and I'm about to go do Lubbock television real quick before we record some more content here for you. It's always for you. Make sure you're following me on X and Instagram at WatchChad. That's where you're going to see some fun little clips. All right? So don't miss that stuff. Don't miss that stuff. All right. For the Chad Prather Show, I am Chad Prather. We will be back with you tomorrow with another full episode. Thanks for joining us live. Say goodbye in the chat, and we will talk to you then. God bless you.